Alright, howdy boyos, welcome back to Call of War. Today we are going to be taking a look at the 100 player game I started about 2 weeks ago with some of you guys joining in. First of all, a massive shout out to Call of War. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring this video as well as supporting the channel. Now if you guys want to play Call of War, sadly enough my game is full. However, there's still going to be hundreds of other games played within Call of War, so check out the link in the description. You can sign up with that link, you support the channel, and you get a pretty damn big sign-up bonus if you do sign up with that link in the description. With that being said, let's check out what happened here on day 1 of the game. I present to you the new Poland. So our country has basically pretty much doubled in size, I think from about 20 to about 40 states. Now I have friendlies over here with whom I shared the Lithuanian and Belarus states in Ukraine and Arkhangelsk. I am still allied with Germany, and Germany, as you can see, took large parts of Czechoslovakia and is working on Denmark. However, France has pushed into Germany in sort of a reverse World War II scenario, and Germany is now on its back foot trying to get as many guys back here to defend, although it's still trying to conquer stuff in Austria. Italy, a future ally, potentially, has captured parts of Switzerland and is moving into France from the south. Down here, the world is a little bit of a mess. Romania has expanded a little bit into Austria and into the former Czechoslovakian territories. Then Yugoslavia and Romania together defeated Bulgaria. And now Greece, Romania, and Yugoslavia are in a three-way war, though Romania and Yugoslavia are sort of on the same side. But Turkey, an ally of Greece, is now sending troops over, and it's starting to become basically not a world war, but pretty much a regional all-out war. Now, Romania is actually one of my friends, so I am sending vehicles up here to protect at least his interests. But some scheming is going on, and man, this has been one hell of a ride in the diplomacy tab. I just wanted to take a quick look at the World Herald, the in-game newspaper, which has both auto-generated articles by the game, like, okay, this country captured this country, or this army lost here, or this was sabotaged by that. Also, people can send in their own articles. They can literally be one-word articles saying lol, all the way to people reporting the news here, like Turkestan, going over everything that happened in Europe, and it's very cool to see some people really get into role-playing. Also here, Volga, hopefully pronounced that correctly, has a little bit of role-playing involved, and it's really cool to see some people get really into this. It is currently day 7, almost day 8 in a few hours, and I figured I would update you on what's going on and kind of show you what's happened. And yes, this is the greater Polish Empire, beside owning parts of Lithuania, parts of Belarus, and parts of the Czechoslovakian area. We now also own Denmark, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands will come soon, and parts of France. Stuff happened in the coalition, and Germany decided to stop playing for a while, so between Italy and Romania and myself, we decided, well, having an AFK player between us is really stupid, so we kind of forcefully took him over. We liberated his people from an AFK leader. As you can see, Italy has moved into France, into Spain, is working on Portugal right now, and Yugoslavia survived the enormous battle between him and Greece, with some help from Romania and myself. And now we have conducted a insanely huge attack on Turkey between Romanian forces here on the border, who are currently engaging with Turkish artillery. We have Yugoslavian forces here approaching basically a naval invasion here of Turkey. We have Italian forces on Rhodes who are defending Rhodes as the island as sort of a base of operations against Turkey. And we have a new ally in, I can't pronounce this name, Volga. Hopefully that was Russian enough to sound official. Basically become our allies, at least for the time being, and they have also invaded Turkey and allowed me to have an airborne unit here stationed, and I dropped it right here in Turkish territory. Now, airbornes are very interesting. They come in different levels, as most units do, And level 1, they have an 18-hour timer. Sorry, wrong button. They have an 18-hour timer before they can move, and this reduces by level 2, 14 hours. I believe it's 10, and then level 6 on the elites. So you drop these guys, they spawn as infantry, and then they have a timer here. For them, it's still about 16 hours before they can move, but it doesn't mean they can't fight. So I have dropped them sort of behind Turkish lines, and hopefully between Volga Nizinya and me, they can sort of rush towards me. This is sort of our Operation Market Garden, so to speak, with this being the 1st British Airborne Division, or the 82nd and 101st American units. We've dropped them deep into enemy territory. They're already being engaged by artillery, by infantry units are actually approaching our position right now. But because we're in a city, we're going to have a pretty decent defense against vehicles, because cities make tanks and light armored cars, etc. have all these debuffs. So I figured landing him in a city is a good idea. We even stopped him from building a destroyer, and we destroyed a lot of the buildings that were here. I believe there was a naval yard and a barracks. There was like 4 or 5 buildings here, which we all destroyed. So right now, my goal is to hold the line, 101st Airborne's at Bastogne style, until reinforcements can arrive. I have also researched and built my first rocket, and man, this thing looks crazy. It does, you can't see it right now, I guess I gotta go to the research tab. It does 15 damage to all units and 50 to buildings, which is going to be insane. Downside is the level 1 rocket can actually get shot down, and it only has 5 health. However, the later rockets cannot get shot down, and I'm a little bit afraid of what might happen once we get to that point in the game where people can research these rockets that are basically, you can't defend against them. It'll be interesting. In the meantime, though, I'm sending these rockets down south. They'll be about 15 hours, though. But when they that was very Russian, when they reach Vrach here in Yugoslavia, one of our allies, I can use the airport, and I believe it has a 600-meter range, so that probably means I can hit about here in Turkey. So if any Turkish resistance is still alive at that point, I will pretty much just have the rocket hit that area and destroy a lot of Turkish forces and their infrastructure, allowing Romanian forces and Yugoslavian forces to push in through Istanbul and go in here. As you can see, though, the assault has worked out quite well. Volga Nizinya forces have pushed in and are basically about to approach the capital of Ankara, and there's only one unit defending it right now of anti-air, and the Turks are trying to get planes up ASAP, bombing the infantry coming in. I think they've killed about 2 units so far, but they only have an hour left to go, and that means that Turkey can probably get about 1 more bombing run in, because between flying there, bombing them, flying back, and refueling, it probably takes about 30 minutes for 1 sortie. So it's not gonna, he's not gonna be able to do much. And the second these infantry reach the town, his aircraft is basically going to be super useless, and it's just going to be a sitting duck for his infantry to shoot on the airfield. In other news, I am going to be invading Iceland here soon. Ireland and the United Kingdom have been at war, and as you can see, the UK is losing territory. They initially started a war here in Ireland, and they lost Belfast, they lost Edinburgh, they lost Glasgow, they lost Carlisle, Aberdeen, Inverness. I probably mispronounced that. I mean, it's just now up here, Scotland and Thurso is all that's left, by the way, with Scapa Flow over here. And then it's the mainland UK, and it's starting to kind of be a little bit weird. I'm trying to figure out what's been happening there, but the UK player doesn't really seem to be aware of what's going on. To our east, we have a bunch of allies of ours. We have the Arkhangelsk people, the people of the Ukraine, and basically we agreed, listen, hey, let's not start a war that neither of us wants to fight. So Arkhangelsk and Ukraine, my sort of non-aggression pact / allies to the east. To the north, Sweden and Finland, they agree to sort of demilitarize our borders, so we have a very light contingency of forces here. And that's also what happened over here, basically. We said we can keep units in the cities to just make sure that they're occupied and they don't rebel. But other than that, we are not we're not going to be waging any wars against them, hopefully never, and definitely not anytime soon. The country that is over here was initially at war with Italy, fighting in Spain. And then I started helping out Italy, and we started pushing back Mauritania, but they had a lot of forces here. So what Italy did, he messaged the leader of French Sudan, and he was like, yo, boy, I know you're right next to Mauritania. If you want to, you can invade, because I think he had more than 15 units inside Spain. So Fred Sudan said, okay, thanks, chief. And he just pushed all the way and basically pushed Mauritania out of his own country and into what is now Morocco. And Spain is obviously all of Italy's, and Mauritania is now limited to just a few territories left over here. It's been brutal. This game has a lot of scheming involved, where you're basically scheming either with or against people in a diplomacy tab, and I can't tell you how many people have already been backstabbed. It's been very interesting, to say the least. Thought I would update you guys on the current situation because a lot of things have changed. First of all, Poland has still grown, besides the ones you've already seen in the last update. We now also own the Netherlands and a large part of the UK, though Ireland has really done a pretty damn good job and has fought back the British quite a lot. We also own Iceland, and we are working on getting Greenland. Now, there's not much in Greenland, but hey, land is land, right? In other news, Volga-Nizhny, the country which I hope I'm still not pronouncing wrong, has pushed south hard. It has captured Turkey, Syria, it's working on Persia right now, and we have a non-aggression with the Red Sea Pact, which includes North Sudan and Saudi Arabia, so our borders here are relatively secure. So even though we had signed an official non-aggression pact between the Red Sea Coalition and our coalition, Yugoslavia, which was part of our coalition at the time, had literally said, no, I'm going to be attacking North Sudan, and had amassed about 30 armies right here on Heraklion, one of the islands it owns just off the coast of North Sudan. I had actually warned the Red Sea Coalition, like, hey, this is maybe happening, prepare your armies, and we had warned Yugoslavia not to continue with the operation. He didn't respond, and after about 16 hours, we decided to move in our armies into his lands to make sure he wouldn't break the non-aggression pact with our allies to the south, mainly because they are a really strong coalition. They own the majority of North Africa. Starting a war between two of the largest coalitions in the game right now would be very, very costly, not only for us, also for them, and would leave us and them very open to other coalitions attacking us when we are at our weakest. So right now, as you can see, our coalition basically spreads from soon-to-be Greenland, Iceland, the UK, North and Southern Europe, Eastern Europe, the Balkans, Middle East, and starting to get into Asia, and who knows where we might stop. Well, guess what, boys? We got them level 2 rockets, and they can no longer be shot down. Now, I actually did fire that initial rocket, though my video of it got corrupted and I actually cannot show you, but I gotta say, these things are interesting. I used them against an army and it wasn't very successful. They are really used for dealing with structures. Let's say you want to hit an enemy industrial center or one of their production centers, these babies are your best friend. They will destroy the infrastructure, they'll destroy buildings, industry, work very well. Now currently I am researching level 2 paratroopers because I had to say they were so much fun to use against Turkey in their sort of like Operation Market Garden scenario. Upgrading them to level 2 gives them a little bit more range, the planes will be faster, the infantry will be better, and then level 3, which we will get on day 12, they become even better with 50 kilometers more range and even more speed and even better stats on the infantry they deploy. I'm very much looking forward to getting level 3 and 4 rockets, and eventually, yes, we're going to unlock the nuke, which, as you can see, this is ridiculous. This will destroy basically any army outright unless it has a few hundred units. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll be doing another Call of War video here soon. Make sure you guys check out that link in the description if you want to sign up and get a bunch of in-game bonuses. Also, again, giant shout out to Call of War for sponsoring this video. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Cheers.